And
No,
not for the Charlie Jones. How spectacular was Charlie Jones? 100 yards to start the game. That was awesome.
Well, that kickoff return was only, I think, maybe his third kickoff return since he's been with the Bengals, because they've been using him just on punt returns, and that seam that opened up. Hey, special teams yesterday played outstanding, not only on that kickoff return here, Gary Jeff, but also on that, I believe it was a kickoff, and they got down, and the Browns kind of screwed it up, and the special teams went down, and then downed it on like the 6-yard line, which was huge.
Yep, absolutely. Special teams were very crucial in yesterday's victory, and so was, once again, the defense. Nick Chubb was back for the first time in 389 days. That's the last time Nick Chubb, the running back for the Browns, had been on the field since the injury, or 398, something. It'd been over a year. Been like a year and a month since Nick Chubb had suited up in an NFL football game, and the announcers are all energetic. The national TV announcers are, Nick Chubb, it's gonna, if anything's gonna make a difference for this Browns offense, it's Nick Chubb, and he's back, and the Bengals shut him down.
I had to turn off the game on my phone. I was watching the game on my phone. I had to turn it off because of these guys that were just like praising, like Nick Chubb was the next thing to slice bread. I had to turn it off. They were so bad. So I turned the radio on to listen to Dave Lapham and Dan Horde. And then every time I had the radio on yesterday, the Bengals scored. I don't know what it was. So I said, I'm going back to listen to the radio. Because when I had the radio off, the Bengals were struggling. I turned the radio back on. As soon as I turned it back on, we scored that touchdown pass, the first one to Jamar Chase. So I just listened to the game on radio because those announcers were all Nick Chubb, were all Cleveland Browns. They were all like pulling for the Browns to beat the Bengals. I couldn't stand it anymore. So they
were so biased. I couldn't believe on a national TV bias. How can these guys just be smooching up to Browns fans because there's more people in Cleveland than Cincinnati? I don't know what the reason was, but you're right. It was way slanted. That's something we noticed as well. And I'm just kind of mystified by Cleveland's defense. Let's give it its due. Is pretty darn good. But
it's very good defense. I told you they had a good defense.
Yeah,
Gary Jeff at halftime. At halftime, now I wasn't in the locker room, and you weren't in the locker room, but I have a strong feeling that Joe Burrow got with Zach Taylor and said, "Look, they got a good defense, but we're going to go down. Let's go down swinging, and let me start throwing this ball to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase." And what did they do? They came out, they started throwing the ball, did they not? To Jamar and T, and they got 2 touchdowns.
Absolutely. I'll tell you this, and you and I have talked about this before. If Joe Burrow, if they let him be in charge of that offense, it's better than what they've been doing to this point. Joe Burrow has the kind of football IQ, and I think that Joe Burrow, more than likely, when he retires from playing, whenever that will be, and I hope it's not anytime soon, is going to be an offensive coordinator or a head coach somewhere in charge of an offense, because he's got that kind of brain, and he's got the skills, as long as his body holds up, to execute what his brain is telling him to do.
Well, that's a long ways off. Let's not even go across that path. But if anything, he might be an owner for all the money he makes.
That's a good point.
He could probably buy a team. Yeah.
But, I mean, like you said, they opened up that offensive aerial display in the second half, and it paid benefits and paved the way for the Bengals' third victory of the year. Now, looking ahead, the Eagles are in town next Sunday at Paycor Stadium, and this is not an easy task for the Bengals to get 500 either.
Not at all. Not at all. Barkley, 170 yards yesterday against the Giants?
Well, that was some grudge running yesterday against the Giants.
Barkley's still a damn good running back. He really is.
Yeah.
He really is a damn good running back. And the Bengals haven't won a home game yet. They got to get that monkey off their back.
Yeah, how is that? I mean, they can go and win on the road against teams that they're supposed to beat. Can you imagine how different the season would be if the Bengals had been ready to go in week 1 and taken care of the Patriots? Taken care of the Patriots like they should have, like everybody expected. The odds makers had them 7.5-point favorites going into that first game of the year, Wild Man, and they laid that egg against New England, which is proven to be just as bad as everybody said they were going to be.
Yep, the only victory this year by the New England Patriots is against the Cincinnati Bengals. Paycor Stadium. That's unbelievable. I like to say unbelievable, Andy Mack. But, hey, we got to move on. We got to move on. We quit worrying about that. Got to take care of business come Sunday against the Eagles.
So what do you think about the Bengals' chances now? They did improve their playoff chances a little bit by percentage, by history, with the victory yesterday to get to 3-4. They get to 4-4.
We're talking about. I know, but hey, let's not even think about that. They're not thinking about that right now.
Playoffs.
I mean, they're thinking
playoffs.
Playoffs. let's get to 500, and then then the Raiders come to town, and then then you got the Ravens, and then you got the bye. Let's take one game at a time here, and don't even think about the playoffs. Every team, I said this last week. On any given day, you can get beat. Yeah. And the Bengals have got to take care of business at home. The defense, hey, if you want to look for something positive, the defense has played well the last 2 weeks. They really have. Defense has played well.
What I have seen around the NFL so far is that the Lions are just absolutely, they are so hungry and they are so good, and Dan Campbell has them on a projection with what they did to Minnesota yesterday. I mean, they did wind up winning a game, didn't they? The Lions?
Absolutely they did, yes.
Yeah, right. And then Baltimore, and you want to talk about within the division, Wild Man. Boy, that team just frightens me to death as a fan of any other team in the AFC. I know they've got 2 losses, but it's like they gave the rest of the league a 2-game head start by losing those games.
I forgot to mention, Jerry Jeff. I forgot to mention this to you. The 2 touchdown passes that Joe Burrow threw yesterday,
yep,
they were his 13th and 14th of the season.
Oh,
he now has 14 touchdown
He's
passes.
having a remarkable offensive season.
No, he has 14 touchdown passes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Again?
I'm sorry. We're talking about Pete Rose again. By the way, you sent me a picture of your son, Petey, who you named after Pete Rose, who was at some concert. He's like reliving the old man's wild days, going to see Jesse James Dupree.
Yeah, out there in Illinois. Yeah, Jesse hooked him up with a VIP pass and sitting at table 14.
14.
How's that 14. happen?
That's
too
excellent.
Too weird.
That's excellent. Yeah, I mean, do you see anybody else in the NFL that you think is really on track to do some marvelous things postseason and beyond? What are you seeing so far?
Well, I watched that Chiefs game last night, and they demonstrated they're the number 1 team in football. They might go undefeated, the Chiefs, because this was supposed to be a tall task against the 49ers, and the 49ers was like 1 step forward, 3 steps back yesterday afternoon. The Chiefs are very tough. The Lions, like you said, the Ravens, those are the 3 top teams right now. I mean, look around. I mean, let's be honest. Those are the 3 top teams. And the Chiefs could make history. I mean, when they won that last Super Bowl, what did they say? 3-peat. We want to win 3 in a row because it's never been done. It's never been done. And so we could be watching history right now unfold in front of us. And
the undefeated season hasn't been done since those 1972 Dolphins, so watch out history.
That's right. The champagne, they want to put it on ice.
Well, the Chiefs are my team, Wild Man, and have been for 6 years. So
yeah, I know.
What has really, really got me giddy is the fact that Kansas City keeps on finding different ways to win every game. And different scenarios come up, and it doesn't matter. They find a way to win. The toe on the line at the end of the end zone, and it's called no touchdown. Just thing after thing after thing, week after week after week, the Chiefs find a different way to win. But the common denominator is always Patrick Mahomes and very improved defense.
And Andy Reid, without a doubt. I mean, he's put that team together. They got a great defensive coordinator there. Spagnuolo. Oh, he's outstanding. But it starts at the top. They've got great management at the top, and they've got a great quarterback who's a Hall of Famer without a doubt. The day he decides to hang it up, and they know how to win. They know how to win.
Wild man, real quickly, the World Series is set. Yankees, Dodgers, who you got?
Oh, boy, when you break it down here, I, as a baseball fan, as a Reds fan, my attitude was if the Reds never won the pennant, I'd always root for the American League, and I'm going to root for the New York Yankees. Why? Because Paul O'Neill does the television. Aaron Boone is a former Red. He's the skipper. They've got Luke Weaver has been their closer. He pitched here, couldn't get anybody out, but now he's one of the keys for the Yankees. I'm picking the Yankees to beat the Dodgers. Both teams with big payrolls trying to buy, a World Series. But the Yankees have got the big stars, too, when I'm talking about, when you're talking about Aaron Judge and Stanton and that kid named Juan Soto. Yeah. I'm going with the Yankees. Yankees in 6.
All right, there you go. Yankees in 6. How many touchdown passes does Joe Burrow have this year so far, Wildman?
Currently right now, 14. There's that number again.
Have a good night, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You got it. It's Wildman Walker on the Nightcap, and we continue in moments on 700 WLW.
Someday the apes will rise up and take over. But until then, American democracy reigns supreme. Election day is democracy's biggest day. It's like the World Series, Super Bowl, and my quinceañera all rolled into one. It's a red, white, and blue celebration where citizens exercise their right to vote for the candidates, issues, and levies of their choosing. Don't try that in North Korea. Make sure you're an informed American voter. Listen for the latest election info and news on 700 WLW.
In today's Marketers Report, Kate Cronin, Chief Brand Officer of Moderna, weighs in on the speed of audio production.
In this day and age, and particularly at Moderna, where we have new information coming out on a regular basis, being able to feed that information to the audio format makes being nimble and pivoting easy, and that's what I really like about it.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, influencers, insights, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that has made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2023 calendar year total sales.
Trust Zero Res Air Duct Cleaning to get your air ducts insanely clean and maintain healthy air quality in your home. Mention me, Bill Cunningham, to get $50 off your next cleaning. Use their promo code AIR50 when scheduling online. ZeroResCincy.com. Zero Res, a smarter, lasting clean.
Hey, are you tired of living with chronic pain, knee pain, joint pain? It's time to get the relief you deserve without going under the knife. Think about it. Your body heals itself. Think about it. You cut your finger. Yeah, guess what? Your body's healing agents are at work because it heals up in a few days. QC Kinetics can take those healing properties and concentrate them in the joints where you have pain to help heal and restore those achy areas. This treatment is available now right here in Cincinnati through QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. The results, you can move again with no pain. QC Kinetics has treated thousands of patients with incredible success. Finally, relief from arthritis and injury without surgery or downtime, no steroids or pain pills. If you've got pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back, you need to see if you're a good candidate for these new treatments. Find out. Call now to schedule a free consultation with QC Kinetics. 513-847-0019.
Progressive Commercial presents Heroes That Keep Truckers Going. Today's hero, your favorite sassy diner server. Sure, her eyes might say, I don't have all day. But deep down, you know that extra pancake on your plate says, I dislike you less than most people. Thanks, hero. What else can keep truckers going? Progressive truck insurance with primary liability limits up to $2 million. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to terms and limits.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Meet Brian. He just got $5,000, and it was pretty easy. I'll tell you how in 10 seconds. Brian needed cash help. After being rejected by banks, he tried 27cash.com. Told them how much he needed, even let them know he had bad credit. In minutes, 27cash.com found a lender who deposited $5,000 into his bank account the very next day. If you need cash help, even if you have bad credit, go to 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Carrier, turn to the experts. Located dealer at Carrier.com.
News, traffic, and weather. News Radio 700 WLW, Cincinnati.
The latest on the documents leak affecting the Middle East. With the 11:30 report, I'm Lee Mowen. Breaking now. ABC's Tom Sufi Burridge reporting from Tel Aviv on the latest.
ABC News is not quoting directly from or showing the documents, which appear to detail movement of Israeli military equipment and munitions that could be used in a potential strike. One of the documents claimed Israel could strike Iran without the US seeing any further visual clues from above.
The FBI is now joining this investigation on how these documents were posted online. Now the latest traffic and weather together. No accidents to report. However, if you are driving in Norfolk, Kentucky, this is from the Facebook page of KYTC District 6. They're performing a rolling roadblock tonight on a portion of I-71-75 in Kenton County and on I-275 in Kenton and Campbell counties. Traffic will be temporarily slowed down and at times stopped to allow crews to perform skid testing. Expect these delays and plan ahead. It will take place on 7175 from Dixie Highway to the Bent Spence Bridge and 275 from the 7175 interchange to the AA Highway in Wilder. And this started about 9 o'clock this evening, and it looks to end around 12:15 this morning, so about 45 minutes to go. They are testing to make sure the skid platform is working fine. So be aware of that if you're going around Norfolk, Kentucky.
Now the latest forecast from the Train Heating and Cooling Weather Center on News Radio 700 WLW.
As we head to our Tuesday, we've got ourselves clear and seasonal weather ahead. Morning low of 48. And then for our Tuesday, it's sunny skies and my high is 78. At night, mild and clear, and we're down to 56. From your severe weather station, I'm 9 First Warning Chief Meteorologist Steve Raleigh. News Radio 700 WLW.
53 degrees in Cincinnati, and the radar is clear. A razor-thin majority, the difference for one former Soviet Union republic's path on joining the European Union. Here's ABC's Tom Rivers.
It couldn't have been closer. According to the Central Electoral Commission, the yes camp wins with 50.4% of the vote, those against 49.6%. A loss would have been a political disaster for the pro-Western government, which strongly supported the pro-EU campaign. The former Soviet republic applied to join the EU in the wake of Russia's invasion of neighboring Ukraine. Brussels agreed in June to start membership negotiations. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
Expect to see some of those orange barrows out on a busy Warren County road as Fields Erdel expanding from 2 lanes to 5. The Warren County Engineers Office starting the project Monday and planning to take about 2 years to complete. This work will primarily focus on Fields Erdel between Snyder Road and Wilkins Boulevard. Along with 3 added lanes, the project also creates retaining walls, profile adjustments, sidewalks, storm sewers, and other improvements needed. But that's not the only road getting some construction done.
Harrison Avenue is the next road in Cincinnati going on a diet. City's accepting a grant of up to $10 million from the state of Ohio to change traffic patterns and install pedestrian safety improvements. Project will begin next spring, as similar to the others done on major thoroughfares to reduce speeding. 3-mile stretch of Harrison through Westwood and South Fairmount's considered one of the most dangerous in the city. Just last month, there was another accident on Harrison near Queen City where a car went into a building. It was on this stretch as well. 6 years ago, a West High student was killed by a car crossing the street to catch her bus. Sign at the intersection there still encourages drivers to slow down for Gabby. I'm Brian Combs, News Radio 700 WLW.
Our next update is at midnight. I'm Lee Malwin, News Radio 700 WLW.
We're here with David Cooper, Vice President of Genesis Diamonds.